Hey guys, what's up? This is April and I'm so excited to to share this with you. So this past weekend, my family and I, we were driving on the road, and we had already been driving like 6-7 hours, and we're about an hour and a half away from getting to the hotel, and I was like dead tired because I been on the road with 3 kids. It's gonna tire you out after a while. But anyways, all of a sudden we get hit with that big bright orangish reddish sign, road work ahead. I was like, okay, but it said road work ahead for 7 miles. I was like, that's not gonna be that bad, cool, whatever. But as we're pulling up, we are literally at a standstill. I mean, no cars are moving, no nothing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, God, no. We're end up being in that line for a whole hour, an hour to go 7 miles, an hour of nothingness. But after we got out of it, I realized, I was like, you know what? All they're trying to do is make the road better. That's really all they're doing. I'm trying to look at things in different perspectives now. But I ain't gonna lie, I was a little frustrated and irritated. But it was like the Spirit was like, you get it now. And I was like, huh? And I started thinking about that more. And that's what God is doing in our lives sometimes. We're at a standstill. Nothing is moving, nothing is going, and we start questioning it. And we're like, hey, is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this the path that I'm getting on? But what we don't realize is all God is trying to do is make the road better. He understands that sometimes the enemy sets traps along the way for us, that there's potholes, because he understands that you are on the road to destiny. He understands that the enemy knows that you are on God's path. The road that we're traveling on is called God's will. And as long as we're following his GPS, everything is going to be okay. But the enemy has set snares and traps along the way. And so God is saying that since this is my will and you are my child and you are following where I am telling you to go, it is my responsibility, it's his responsibility to make sure that the road is taken care of. He says out in Exodus, he says, I am sending an angel before you to guard you along the way, to make sure you get to the place that I've prepared for you. He's sending his angels along the way to guard us, to protect us. So he has to make the road better. But in order for him to make the road better, we might have to be in a standstill place. And I know a lot of us get, as anytime you sit in the traffic, you're getting a little frustrated, you're getting a little irritated. And like me, I'm looking at the grass like, God, I just need one person to cross over the grass and I'm following. Or you start looking for other exits. I'm looking at my GPS like, okay, well, is there an alternate route we can take? But unfortunately, you have to get past the road work, so you might as well just stay on the road anyway. But that's what we do. We start questioning like, okay, nothing's going on. Nothing's happening. I'm unsure about this path that I'm on. Maybe if I take this exit, or maybe if I cross the median. And what happens for people who cross the grass when you know you shouldn't be crossing the grass, you end up failing and you get frustrated and things just completely go wrong. Because in a sense, like when you cross the grass, you're doing something that's like illegal. But for others, when they just take other exits, you don't get to where you're supposed to go to right on time. Other roadblocks happen. And what God is saying, like a couple of years ago, my husband, he hit this pothole. And I mean, it's been his rim up all kinds of ways. And I was like, this ain't our fault. This is the county's fault. That's their responsibility. This is their road that they're supposed to fix. And that's what God is saying. He said, you are my child. You're paying your taxes, in a sense, through your prayers, through your worship, through your praising, through following my will. So it is his responsibility to make sure those things are fixed. He, out in Isaiah, he says, I am going before you. God is going before you to make the rough places smooth. He's roughing out all those ins and odds and stuff like that. But if you get too impatient and you go along, other ways, you're going to miss out on what God is trying to do, or the road that he's trying to protect. Because if you take them other exits and you start going on your own will and you're leaning onto your own understanding, then there are going to be holes that the enemy has set out there. There's traps along the way, and he can, in a sense, God is like, if you stayed on my path and you stayed on my road, because I go before you on this road and you're following my GPS system, I'm smoothing out those places. But when you take your own exits until you get back on my will, on my path, you're going to fall into some potholes. It's unfortunate, but you're outside the county lines. The county is no longer responsible for things that happen outside of their county lines. And I'm not saying God's not going to sit there and help guide you and protect you, but he wants to guide you back onto his path, back onto his will. And there was something else that God had showed me. He was like, secondly, is that not all the time is it just holes and stuff are getting fixed, but that sometimes expansion, he's expanding the roads in your life. Just like when you're on the highway, they have to expand it from a 2-lane to like a 5-lane because there's so much traffic going on that the roads either can't sustain it, or that it's just that they need to expand so that more flow can be better. And that's what's happening, because God is saying for some people, look, I need to expand your roads because there is a blessing that is coming that is greater than what you can see right now. And I need to expand your roads in order for that blessing to come along with you, because what you're traveling on is a little bit too narrow for what I got in store for you. And secondly, with that is that it's not only just a blessing, but there are people that are coming along with you, that are traveling, that are following behind you, that if I allow this road to be too narrow, you're not all going to get there when I need you to get there. So if you just be patient with me and will understand that I am expanding your road right now for the blessing that is coming, if you would just bear with me for a little bit. Like, there's a lot of you who are saying, God, I just want to be an assistant manager. But God is saying, no, I need you to stay where you are right now, because I'm not only going to make you the assistant manager, but you're going to become the manager. And there's for others who are like, God, my business right now, it's not doing too good. I'm in the red. I'm about to quit. And God is like, no, I don't need you to quit right now, because there's a major contract that I have ahead of you for you. I'm just smoothing out some of these rough places. I'm expanding these roads so that can happen. But guys, we're going to miss it. We're going to miss the blessing. We're going to miss getting to where we are needing to get to when we need to get it because of impatience. And I understand what it's like to be there and say, God, nothing's happening. I'm unsure. I'm unsettled. Look at Moses. I'm pretty sure Moses was like, God, look, I know I heard you correctly. I know what you told me to do. But this dude keep telling me no every time I tell him to let the people go. I'm unsure about this, God. At least that's what I would have said. I'd be like, God, I'm unsure about this. Maybe this is all in my mind. But God is just like, just bear with me for a second. Just hang on for it. He keeps saying, I'm going before you. I'm going before you. He went before those who he told to go to. Wherever he told them to go to, he went before them. Even in the pillar of the clouds, the cloud went before the people to make sure that the enemy, that all the traps and stuff, or that they would be defeated, and that like I said, those rough places would be smooth. You have to trust God, guys. You have to. I know it gets unbearable sometimes, the sitting and the waiting, but I promise you, you will never be late for destiny. When you are following God's path, when you are adhering to his GPS, when that GPS says you got X amount of miles to go to and it's going to take you this long, that's exactly what God is saying. But you will not know. I don't have a good sense of direction, okay? My brother, on the other hand, when he sees all these stop signs and red lights and stuff like that, he goes all different kinds of ways, and he can get to where he needs to get to. I ain't got that good sense of direction. And people, a lot of y'all don't either. The thing about it is, how are you gonna get somewhere where you don't even know exactly where you're supposed to be going to? That's the crazy thing about it. Do not lean onto your own understanding, guys, while you are traveling this road. Just chill, relax. When I was in that road for a whole hour, I stayed up the entire time, and Lord knows I needed a nap. I took me 15-minute nap, and it was good, and I felt rejuvenated. People, take you a nap. Enjoy it, even though sometimes it might be hard. Enjoy it. Just relax, just chill, and know that God, when you see that road work ahead sign, that means that God is fixing to do something. That means that he is smoothing out some traps and snares. That means that he expanding some things for you. And you won't know what exactly it is if you take a different exit, or if you do a turnaround. Don't do a turnaround, people. Please don't do a turnaround. Don't get impatient. Let God do what he's doing. He got this. He created us before time began. He understands exactly what he's doing, when he's doing, with what he needs to do with. And I just pray that y'all just all stay encouraged. I know it gets tough. It gets tough. It's hard sometimes. It really is, but you have to trust God. You have to trust that he knows what he's doing. And that he's sending his angels before you. That's good news to me. That he's sending an angel ahead of me to protect me, to guide me, to guard me, to get me to the place that he has prepared for me. So stay encouraged, people. Please do. And Godspeed, and everybody safe travels. And we'll see you later. Stay blessed and peace.